Hello and good evening to you as I come to you on this Friday evening, which is the 20th of October 2022. To all the members of the tribe, I wish to say Shabbat Shalom. To the Islamic peoples of the world, I wish to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And to the Christian people of the world, those who follow all these various religions and sects, in the word of the Messiah, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I would like to say to you, my peace I give unto you. Today I come before you and before the peoples of the world to make a statement. Even though we have all these platforms today and so many people are living their lives on social media and putting so much value to what social media means to them, I'm also having a Shabbat drink, a kosher drink, as is traditional on Friday evening as we go to do the Shabbat. And I wanted to weigh in on current events that are taking place in the world. We have the war with Ukraine. We have the impending war with China and Taiwan. We have the impending war with North Korea. We have the impending war between Iran, the United States, and Israel. We have the impending war between Lebanon and Israel. And we have the impending war, civil war, in the United States of America, wherein certain segments of the society in the United States of America have deemed the descendants of the African people, as well as the Sephardic Jews and members of the Jewish sect and the Jewish religion, to be worthy of a pogrom. And those of you who don't know what a pogrom is, you must go and know what that word means, the pogrom. The United States of America is our main concern today, as it is the place where we live and we call home, the land of our forefathers, the land in which the African peoples worked for nothing from sundown to sunup to ensure that it would become a vibrant and strong nation. Now, this nation is very young among the nations of the world. Its history is only about 250 years old, plus or minus. And yet, there's so many controversies. The first one I want to talk about is a recent controversy with a young man who used to go by Kanye West, and then he found Christ Jesus, the Messiah, and he changed his name to Ye. Okay, now Ye, I remember I never was into Ye until one day I heard a song that Ye made, and Ye was singing about his father. He said his father had died, and his father was such an accomplished man. He left him so many degrees. He had all these degrees on the wall. And he asked himself, what is that inheritance of all these degrees? What does it mean to me and what does it accomplish? A bunch of degrees. Because, a lot of us in this society are preoccupied with what I call, well, it's degrees, but they go for degrees for the wrong reason. They don't go for degrees to change the field. They don't go for degrees to contribute to the field or to contribute to society. They go for prestige. You want to be called doctor for prestige, not because you know anything or you can do anything. Some of you pay people to do your homework for you and to write papers for you. So you'll do anything to get a PhD so people can call you doctor. But you're not a doctor. You're not a real doctor, okay? I want you to know that. The only people who are doctors are people who are medical doctors and work as in medicine. They are doctors. You're just a PhD. Okay? So now Ye said some things, and those are truthful things. And it shows the difference between the fight of the Negro peoples in America and the fight of the Jewish sect and the Jewish religion and those who consider themselves within Judaism and within Judah to be Zionists, and the fact that they speak of what is anti-Semitic. And I want to remind you that many of us are Semitic peoples. We are Semitic people. I am a Semitic person. I am a member of the tribe. Many of the people in East Africa and in North Africa are Semitic peoples. The Ashkenazis and the people who come from Europe and who call themselves Jews and who are Europeans and want to hold exclusively to them the right of Judaism and the right of being Jewish are in fact putting a veil over the eye of humanity and a veil over the eye of people. Because when in Germany and in the Spanish Inquisition and in France, and most recently in the 40s and the 30s when Hitler came to power, okay, it was the more authentic looking brown skinned Jewish people that were being killed. Okay, so there are many people who converted to Judaism, but they're not really authentically in terms of genetics and in terms of well, you have genetics and in terms of for lack of a better word, for if you want to call the Jews a race and not a religion, then they're not real Jews because they don't look like me. They don't look Sephardic. They're not brown. They look more like Europeans. But they use the Jewish cause to their advantage. Even I may be accused today after this message of being anti-Semitic, and I can go from being an unknown to a known because I said something anti-Semitic. But I cannot be anti-Semitic because I'm a Semite. And all of the African peoples are Semite peoples. And so if you're anti-Black, if you're anti-African, you're anti-Semitic. And that is my message to you. But Ye said something that is very important. And most of the people here in the United States of America, the descendants of African slavery, are too ignorant, are too uninformed to understand it. Because you just have to take a general economic situation. Anybody you work for, if someone has to hire you to pay your wages, to pay your Social Security, to pay your sick leave, and to pay your insurance, you better be producing for them 20 times what they're paying you. 20 times what they're paying you. So when you hear a football player or a basketball player has a contract, and remember, a contract is a contract. Somebody has to do something to receive something. So it's contingent. It's not guaranteed money. It's contingent on a performance. So this guy gets $100 million contract over 5 years to play basketball, to play football, and that's all they want to see the Negro in America do. He must either be a singer, a dancer, or playing ball, whether it's basketball, baseball, or even like Tiger Woods, who is a Black Asian, hitting that little ball on the golf course. If they're paying you $100 million over 5 years, then you have to be bringing in a good 20 billion over that 5 years. A most recent incident that comes to me at mind and makes me feel so bad is the Dallas Cowboys, and I think the quarterback name is Zach. And when Jerry Jones and the media speak of him, he's like a prize stallion slave. That they would have a slave auction to say, here, there's the best specimen of a working Negro that can cut sugarcane and pick cotton that we want to offer you. And they're talking about when will Zach be back and when will he lead the team. And these people suffer, they get hurt, they get concussions, they get broken bones. And they still have to go out and run for their supper and catch the ball for their supper, and they can't say no. They can't say no. And the society then holds that up for the African children as what they should aspire to become. And many broken hearts and many broken souls and many broken aspirations have been killed because of that. You understand? Because there's only one spot to be a superstar. It's like Destiny's Child. You know, they had 3 people on there, a light-skinned mulatto and 2 dark-skinned girls. And the name of the band was not Destiny's Children, but Destiny's Child. That always been only one of them was meant to be the star. And that was the mulatto one. And you know who I'm talking about. I'll never say, is her name Beyonce or Beyonce? You know, whichever one it is. Nonetheless, I'm here to say that I'm here to defend the Apostle Ye, who accepted Christ and who is a believer in Christ and who spoke the truth. He said that many of the athletes and many of the entertainers have contracts, and we know that. These African people, they don't own production, they don't own distribution. And the fact is that the artists, you know, when they go around with their entourage, they fly on a plane, they stay in a hotel, somebody has to pay for it. So it's deducted from the money that the entertainer makes. Okay, go ask Mary J. Blige. Go ask TLC. Okay? So all these people now work very, very hard. Okay? It's a little warm in here. They work extremely hard. They have fame, so they got to act like they have money, but they don't have money. There's a difference between fame and money. And if you'd see David Weinstein, that ugly fat old man who had to use his power to rape women, including the wife of the governor of California, just to get sex. Use his power as a producer. He don't have no talent, he don't act. But on the back of the actors, on the back of those movies, he became a billionaire. It is the same thing with the football, where when they have the season, when they pick the people to what they call it, I forgot the term they use for it, when they pick these Negroes to go play basketball and football, it is selection time or whatever. But it's almost like a slave market. And they say, here is this one, and this is his record in high school. And many of them are functionally illiterate because they, you know, you can't do sports and be really good at it and have time for academics. And if you get a scholarship to go to a university, you're not going there for academics, you're going there to be a goddamn gladiator for that school, and that school is making a lot of money up for you. And the minute that you cannot perform, you live there with a broken heart. My dear people of the United States of America and people of the world, Ye isn't lying. Ye isn't lying. And whether or not all of the executives who own these teams and who run Hollywood, their religion is Jewish, I don't see them at the synagogue. I don't see them making sacrifices. I don't see them for Yom Kippur. I don't see them for anything else. But when it's convenient to claim they are Jewish and to assert the defense of anti-Semitism. And I can tell you from the beginning of time of the history here in the United States of America, these people, these Negro people, our people, who have produced the greatest genre of music, of jazz, and of the movies, and have performed in basketball and in literature and in chemistry and in physics. Their careers have always been controlled by somebody else. And the masters, James Brown with a sixth grade education, produced the most sampled music in the world. Where is James Brown money? And Suge Knight and Tupac, they created an industry. And we're told that $200 or $300 million from Suge Knight and Tupac, and that venture just went away. And Suge Knight is in prison, Tupac is dead, Biggie is dead. Who has that money? Ask yourself that question. So Ye spoke out about it, and they want to say that he's mentally off. Well, they say I'm mentally off because I claim to be Jewish, I claim to be Christian, I claim to be Muslim. I am every religion in the world, Hindu. As a matter of fact, I forgot to say hello to my fellow Hindus and happy Diwali. You see, because everybody want to hate everybody. If you're a Jew, you must hate the Muslim. If you're a Christian, you must hate the Jew, and so on and so forth. And all we have today is a world in turmoil, just war upon war and destruction and empire and imperialism. And imperialism never died, so Russia wants to reassert her authority and to be great again. Now comes Mother Russia. But here in the United States of America, where we had African slavery, where we suffered for how many years, and we came to a period of accommodation, and we kept the vigilant and very hateful European racism under check for about 60 years. That's all, 60 years, not a long time. From John F. Kennedy to the guy from Texas who was president, Richard Nixon, George Herbert Walker Bush. Actually, the worst president was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton put more of us in prison for life than any other Republican president. 3 strikes and you're out. And Hillary, evil Hillary, called us predators. But did we ever stop to think about that? So, and these are the Democrats now. They say they're fighting for us. Okay? So, yeah, he's speaking the truth. I listened to his interview. I listened to what he said. And as a Semite, as a practicing Judaist, there was nothing he said that was anti-Semitic. Now, I want to tell the Negro peoples of the United States of America, and I want to tell the world, and I want to tell the people who are the underdogs and the downtrodden, you cannot blame other people for your problem. If you choose not to pursue the hard things in life, if you choose not to send your children and to make sure your children learn mathematics, learn physics, learn chemistry, learn computer science, strive to be industrialists, strive to go into banking and to insurance and into finance, and you allow them instead to just sing and dance because they want to follow the example of Megan Thee Stallion and the example of the illiterate from the Dominican Republic, what they call her, Cardi B, and you want to compare them from one generation to another, pumping that into your families and to your children. And if you come from the diaspora and the Caribbean and you want to pump bumping and grinding and whining and lascivious behavior at Carnival, you have energy to wake up in the early hours of the morning to go to a bottle fete and an all-white fete and to simulate sex in public and to go out in a Louis and Jesus Christ of Nazareth would not accept that. That's like when Jesus came to the temple and they had turned the temple into into a place of gambling and a place of prostitution, and Jesus started to beat everyone and to chase them out of the temple. You cannot blame people for your suffering. You cannot blame Europe. Africans cannot blame Europe for the backwardness of Africa when African leaders continue to plunder and steal from their country and they have so much low self-esteem. They want to use that money to buy perfume and clothes from Europe to make them feel well. Ye has done nothing wrong. And all of you who will run away from ye and who will condemn ye, you don't even know what a Jew is. You don't even know that I'm a Jew. You don't even know who is Jew and who is not Jew until you say something and somebody say, oh, you're anti-Semitic. So you have secret and hidden Jews. They're right there with you at work. Just say something and then they'll come out. And then you'll lose your job. You'll lose your contract. You'll lose your position in society. You see, I have no position. I have no position in society. Except for that, I am the representative of Faswa Makandal. Faswa Makandal is the only African person who ever united African people. And since then, it has never occurred again. And Faswa came from the Congo at the age of 16 to the Americas, just like me. And he brought together the people on the island of Haiti to stage a revolution against the French Empire. And they had no allies, they had no money, they had no funds. All they had was knowledge. And Faswa was a chemist. He was a chemist. And that's why I want to go into the next section of this talk. When Hitler came to power in Germany, when Hitler campaigned, Hitler told the German people everything he was going to do. He said, when I come to power, I will vanquish and I will demolish all type of opposition. There will be no other party but the Nazi party. Hitler blamed the Jewish people for all the problems of Germany and made them into a scapegoat. And he said he would eliminate them physically when he came to power. And Hitler did it. Hitler came to power. Hitler banned all other political parties. He made himself the god of Germany, the head of the church, and Nazism was the religion of the German people. Donald Trump came to you, and Donald Trump is a chameleon and a very good opportunist, a very good actor. And he said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And guess what? People were laughing. People were saying, oh, Donald Trump can never win. Donald Trump say he like to grab the women by their pussies. They say, oh, women won't vote for him, but what people don't know, a lot of women like to be grabbed by their pussies. So when Donald Trump said that, it collected votes for him because all the horny women in the suburbs whose pussies are not being grabbed were happy to hear that somebody was willing to grab them by their pussy. And Trump won. When I told you all Trump would win, no one believed me. No one believed me. They said, oh, you're crazy, and how can you support Trump and all that? But you see, I said we need Trump because, you see, people don't react until they're under pressure. You see, we in the Jewish faith and in the Jewish people, we have something we say, never again. Never again Auschwitz. Okay, and I know all the different, but I can't recall all the different death camps, but we say never again. I remember my most favorite friend, Prime Minister Menachem Begin, the leader of the Stern Group who led to the creation of the State of Israel. And I love strong people and strong leaders and people who believe in their ideologies. And there's no reason to be upset at Jewish people and the state of Israel because we believe in ourselves. And I'm saying to the Negro people, I'm saying to the people of the United States of America that fascism, dictatorship is on the march, no different than it was in 1931 and 1932 in Europe, in Mussolini's Italy, in Spain under General Francisco Franco, and no different has it been here in Trump in his egotism to be a dictator. And Trump came and Trump won and Trump went about to do the things he said he would do. And one of the most important things which you Negroes and the Democrats are weak. You know, how can you support the Democratic Party? They don't stand for nothing. If you just blow on them, they change their position. And Trump was able to put judges in place, ideological judges on the Supreme Court and on the federal bench. And they will go beyond. You see, you can only serve 2 terms. But these people will be in position for a long time. And they are the one, like the elections that are coming up next week. The off-year elections, which elect local judges and mayors and who, all election is local, all politics is local, and that politics affect you and I more than the national presidency. But half of you will be at home drinking alcohol, smoking marijuana, shooting up cocaine, snorting cocaine, taking fentanyl instead of going out to vote. But I want to tell you, the fascist party and the people who aim to do harm to us are serious. They are serious. You see, they are waging war on us, and we are not prepared for war. And I want to tell you that I do not believe in war or violence or in civil war, but I visited some people last week and they tell me we're going to civil war. And I was with a diverse group of people. I can understand how an Indian, an Indonesian, and some other white guy and another white guy is telling me about civil war, and they themselves are not even physically fit for war. You understand? And I don't wish war for our country. I don't wish for violence in our country. And today I learned someone has attacked the husband of the Speaker of the House in his own house, which is an act of terrorism. And if only they would call the school actions terrorism instead of mass shootings, then maybe it would stop. But I love and care about the United States of America. And I come here to make an appeal to you, the people of the United States of America, whether you are of the Islamic faith, the Jewish faith, the Christian faith, the Hindu faith, agnostic, or whether you are a voodoo master like myself, I come to ask you for us to pray for peace. And I come to give you my peace, the way Christ Jesus of Nazareth said unto the Romans, my peace I give unto you. In the time of the Romans, in the time of the Roman Empire, it was no different like today, when Jesus stood up to protect and to fight for the Jewish people. And that's why they call him the King of the Jews, because they said he was trying to get the Jewish people a state within Rome. So I want to say to you today, those people that's preaching hate, those people that's preaching fascism, some of them are not people of the pen and people of the book, so they're very easily manipulated. That's the thing about hatred. Okay, you have to imagine what the propaganda was like in the 16 and 1700s and the 1800s that would lead people to go and take a whole other group of people and to enslave them. What the propaganda was like in Germany to get Hitler to kill 6 million plus and minus gypsies and Jews and so on. And I'm telling you that these people are planning a pogrom here right now at this very fucking moment in the United States of America. And I'm saying to you that we must be prepared. We must be prepared. Now, I am a believer in the power of the pen and in the power of the tongue. I believe in speaking softly, but carrying a big stick, if you know what I mean. I must tell you that in the time of peace, you must prepare for war. In the time of peace, you must prepare for war. Because when war breaks out, there's no time to get prepared. I must tell you, if you want to change a lot in life as a people, particularly we, the Semitic African peoples, you must change your orientation towards work, towards discipline, towards study, and towards education. If you are strong enough to stay up all night to party, you should be strong enough to stay up all night to read and to write. You must encourage your children to learn chemistry and physics and biology so that when the time comes, they will have the means to protect us, to protect you, and to help the greater society. We must come together now and pray for the safety of the United States of America. This is at threat. I don't know what's going to happen 2 weeks from now, but I want you to know that I'm very concerned. You see, you just want to wake up and vote when it's popular to do so. But when everything else, you want to live your life on social media, you want to live a life of show that you're glamorous, but you're broke, you can't even pay your goddamn rent or pay your car note, you're living above your means. So I'm asking you, if you need help, if you need counseling, if you need to belong to something, come and join us, the army of Francois Macandal. Francois Macandal is the saint. Francois Macandal is the hope. He's like Theodore Herzl is to the Jewish people in the Western Hemisphere. And if you go and you understand who Theodore Herzl is, then you'll understand who Francois Macandal is. With that said, I want to tell you all that Ye didn't do anything wrong in doing that, but it shows you that you, the Negroes, the entertainers, the singers, the dancers, and the ball players, we don't control nothing. We don't control distribution. We don't control production. We don't control banking. And at any moment, any and everything we have can be taken from us. Now, I have nothing, so there's nothing for them to take from me. But you who walk around boasting you're a billionaire, now you see, where's that billion? Is it under your bed? Do you have gold bullion? Do you have diamonds? And then Africa. Why is Africa so backwards? What is wrong with the Africans? We will save that for another time. But for today, I want to encourage you. I don't love the Democrats. I don't like them. Actually, I prefer the Libertarian Party to the Democratic Party. I want to ask you to go out and vote. And where you cannot find a candidate, vote for the Libertarian Party, because they always put up a candidate. The Democrats are too weak. They're too weak. And I want to say to my Republican brothers and sisters, the African people have never done anything to hurt you. Why are you so hateful? And why are you always bent? Years ago, they had the issue of homosexual marriage. They used that as a distraction. Then Obama came and he neutralized that. He made it legal. and he was gays in the military. But the truth is, there's so many homosexuals everywhere, running corporations, flying jets, top generals in the army. They're all fucking homosexuals. So how the fuck you gonna fight it? Some of the best soldiers, G.I. Joe, SEAL Team, they gotta be homosexuals. They're in a group of all men. They like being football players, basketball players. They love touching each other's ass. So you can't overcome that. Let's move on. So now you go to abortion. Well, infanticide's been around since the beginning of time. And nowhere was it more popular than in China. One family, one child. And you're worried about your population. When you're dead and gone, it don't matter. Life on earth is an evolution. There were a group of people who was here a long time before us. Where did the Romans go? Where did the Greeks go? Where did the ancient Egyptians go? So one day we'll be vanquished as well. There is no pure race in this world, not anymore. And there'll never be. And the beauty of humanity is its diversity. If you go outside and every fucking thing looked the same, you wouldn't like to see it. And the diversity, the beauty of all the different races of the world, whether it's an Indian, a Pakistani, a Chinese, a Korean, an African person of the different tribes of Africa, makes life and the senses of the eye so comforting to our eyes. And let us embrace who we are. Let's embrace humanity and let us protect the United States of America and make America free again. Let us make the United States of America free again and stop talking about illegal immigration. We need undocumented immigrants to do the work that we don't want to do. Without them, we wouldn't have clean streets. Without them, our buildings wouldn't be clean and we wouldn't have an ability to build cheap houses. Let's stop pretending. Our agriculture, our cucumbers, our tomatoes, our cherries, our strawberries, all these damn things are being picked by undocumented immigrants. So who the hell you think you are? Are you going to do the work? Lastly, but not least, and most importantly, I want to give my blessings to the United States of America. I want to bless you wherever you are, wherever this message comes to you. Whether you're in a foreign country in the United States, send it to your friend in the United States and tell him to hear the words of this man, this simple and humble man who come in the name of Christ Jesus and in the name of Francois Macandal. May the spirit of Macandal be with you, and always remember and never forget, which is the mantra of the Jewish people. The struggle continues, a luta continua, and you must always be vigilant to protect the tribe and to protect the cause. And Ye, as I said, didn't do anything wrong, but he proved a point. He proved a point, and if you don't know what that point is, go and study the issue and you will find it. God bless you, but most of all, this God blesses you.